You know, whenever someone asks who the first human was, the story pretty much always starts with Prophet Adam. But that starting point immediately brings up a much, much deeper question, one that I think every single person asks at some point. Why are we even here? Why were we created in the first place? What's our ultimate purpose?
So in this explainer, we're going to dive right into that question. What does Islam actually teach us about our reason for being? Well, the answer starts with a conversation that happened long before any of us ever existed.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start at the very beginning with that heavenly conversation. Then we'll unpack the specific role we were given, understand our ultimate goal, and finally, tie it all together to see how we can live this purpose out, day by day.
To find our purpose, we have to go back, way back. In Surah Al-Baqarah, the Quran takes us to this pivotal moment when Allah announced His grand plan to the angels.
This was it, the big declaration. And the wording here is so important. Allah doesn't just say He's going to put a human on earth. No, He uses the word Khalifah, which means a steward, a successor, a representative. That one single word changes everything, and we're about to see why.
So the angels hear this, and they have a question. They ask, basically, why would you place a being on earth who's going to cause corruption and shed blood? Now, how would they even know that? Well, scholars explain that before humanity, the earth was inhabited by the jinn, who had, let's just say, made a mess of things. So the angels were worried history was about to repeat itself.
And that was Allah's response. So simple, yet so profound. It's a statement that just ends the discussion right there and signals the divine wisdom that sees a potential, a purpose, that was beyond what the angels could grasp. This really sets the stage for everything that comes next.
Okay, so let's zoom in on that specific title Allah gave us, Khalifah. This wasn't just some random label, it was our job description. It's our fundamental role in the entire cosmic play.
So what does that actually mean, to be a caliph, a representative of God on earth? It's a title that comes with, immense honor, but also an even greater responsibility.
In a nutshell, a Khalifa is a trustee. We've been entrusted with the entire planet, to lead, to care for it, and to manage its affairs in a way that reflects the will of the one who created it all. It's a role of stewardship, not of absolute do-whatever-you-want ownership.
And this right here shows just how all-encompassing this role is. It's a complete redefinition of what it means to be human. See, it's not just about our vertical relationship with God. It's also about our horizontal responsibilities, caring for the planet, fostering peace with others, and building a good, safe society. Our purpose is to be a steward that brings balance and harmony to all of it.
So being a good Khalifa is how we fulfill our role. But why were we given this role in the first place? For that, the Quran gives an even clearer, more direct answer about our ultimate purpose.
And there it is, stated as plainly as can be. The ultimate reason we exist is singular, to worship Allah. The word used here is ibadah. But this is where a huge misunderstanding can happen. What does ibadah really mean?
See, ibadah, or worship, is so much bigger than just the 5 daily prayers. Of course, shalat, the formal prayer, is a crucial pillar of ibadah, but ibadah itself covers every single thing we do. Your work, your studies, the way you treat your family, even getting a good night's sleep. All of it can become an act of worship if you do it with the right intention.
And this verse captures that idea perfectly. It's like all these different parts of life, our specific prayers, our daily grind, our relationships, our whole journey from birth to death, they're all lines connecting back to one single point, Allah. The goal is to orient our entire existence toward God, which transforms every mundane little act into something deeply meaningful. It turns our whole life into one continuous act of devotion. So we have our role, be a Khalifa, and we have our ultimate purpose, to worship God in the biggest sense of the word. The big question then becomes, how do we actually do this? How does this huge cosmic purpose connect to our daily lives, our jobs, our dreams? Let's break that down. I heard a scholar share this piece of advice once, and honestly, it completely changed how I look at success. He said, we should never, ever confuse our tools with our ultimate goal. So what are the tools? There are jobs, our titles, our skills, being a doctor, an engineer, an artist. These aren't the end goals of our lives. They are the instruments, the tools that we've been given to use. So here's the key takeaway. The real goal, the main mission, is to use these tools, whatever they may be, to fulfill our primary job, to be the best steward, the best caretaker, the best Khalifa we can possibly be.
And thinking about it this way is just so liberating, isn't it? It means there isn't just one single path to success. A doctor heals, a teacher educates, an entrepreneur builds. They're all using different tools to achieve the exact same goal. And you know what else this means? It means that if one tool, one path doesn't work out, that's okay. There are thousands of other tools we can pick up to fulfill our purpose. It literally protects us from despair.
Now, I know this sounds like a massive responsibility, and it is. But the really beautiful part is that we were never expected to figure all this out on our own. We've been given an entire support system.
Allah gave us the Quran as the ultimate instruction manual. He sent us the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as the perfect real-life example to follow. And he gave us the entire universe, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the earth itself, as resources for us to use for good in our mission as stewards.
So, this brings us to the final and, I think, the most important question. Because it's not just about knowing our purpose, it's about living it. So looking at your life, your skills, your passions, right at this very moment, what tool will you pick up today to be the best Khalifa you can be?